Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I didn't have a show last week. Last week I had a kickoff meeting for the Conjuring Crafting a Prosperous Life class, and I wanted to go ahead and do a show that day also, but it was just too much. It ended up being something where we talked for like 2 hours. That's going pretty well. I'm very happy with how things are going in my life. I like how things are going in a couple of people's people who are sharing what's happening for them. I like seeing the changes that they're seeing happen in their lives. I would like to see more people participating in the I don't know, the kind of the thrill of it, I guess, but at the same time, it's a lot going on right now. So Christmas is a hard time to try to do a 2-week intensive ritual for sure. But anyway, yeah, so that the materials for that I'm going to make available going forward. It turns out it's a really useful way to manifest things, and it can be a standalone package probably, but also I'm going to keep doing this on a regular basis for people who are still interested, as long as people are interested. So it's a fun way to do big magic. Anyway, yeah, I'll make announcements as those become available. Today, though, I wanted to talk about the power of piety. Let's see. Yes, hey Cody, how's it going? Cody says it's going great. Yeah, so today I want to talk about the power of piety, because it's actually something that in this course we're finding out, for me anyway, as we're going through the course, we're releasing things in each of the 7 spheres that stand between us and our intended statement of intent, our sigil that represents our desired outcome. Hey Joey, how's it going? Lots of weird dreams and animal messages while awake. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of animal messages lately too. Just like sparrows have been a big deal for me. Like sparrows have popped up a lot, living and massacred in the forest by something. But yeah, a lot of animal portents and natural stuff going on. But yeah, so what's coming out of this class for me is that as we release these things, the power of the daily mantra is really coming in and strong for me to help me deal with replacing the things that are being released, to power the transformation of my life forces, to generate the necessary sea change, right? The amount of force it takes to release a massive change in your life is huge, because you've already got all these forces going in one direction, and it's manifesting your daily life as you see it fit, right? Every day, your choices that you made 3 weeks ago are still coming into being. It is what it is, right? And that's our daily experience, is everything that we've done so far in our life. And getting the energy to shift that is difficult. It's a sea change, right? And it takes a lot of energy to shift your entire life into something different, right? So where does that come from? It comes from, well, that's what we're going to talk about, right? This is where it comes from. And the idea of piety in general, I want to talk about that too, because the idea that it is right and wrong and good and evil is something that is presented in the core text that we get this from, but it's I think that we can do away with some of that in a very pragmatic way, and it's regardless of whether you think I'm right or wrong, or good or evil, or whether you think being good is beneficial or not. I think that you'll be able to appreciate the value that comes from what I consider piety, removed from a moral framework. As much as I could do that, I'm a pretty moral person. I'm pretty judgmental anyway. I'm judgy as fuck when it comes down to it. But only of other people. I'm pretty liberal with myself. Hey, how's it going, Keegan? Nice to see you. Let's see. Okay, so the power of piety. So first of all, it's All right, the idea that I'm talking about comes from the Derveni manuscript and the Corpus Hermeticum. And the Derveni manuscript was 450 BC, and the Corpus Hermeticum pops up around 3rd century AD. So there's like 700-year difference in that part of the world, and they're still talking about this idea of piety as a means of experiencing an individual Gnostic gnosis of deity, of your true source of your deity, right? And this eye and the lightning bolt here in my show here thing, this thing, right? It is representative of my my whole symbol here. This is Zeus representing the all thing, right? And this experience of this all thing, and this personal experience of this all thing, is something that was a key mystery in the Orphic traditions that the Derveni manuscript was speaking to. And the key mystery of the Orphic tradition was that all the gods are one god, and that one god, we call him Zeus, but it's not really Zeus, but we call him Zeus. And Zeus is the one god because he, after he was the king of Olympus for a while, he consumed the cosmic force of creation, like the cosmic egg, the Orphic egg, or the phallus of Uranus, if you want to see it that way. It's the source of creation itself in the universe, and when he consumed it, he became the demiurge, the consciousness that formed everything in his own image. Everything ceased to be, and he internalized it like a butterfly, internalizing all of its experiences and its existence into its cocoon, and then reemerging as something new. That's what Zeus did in this moment of cathartic internalization of creativity and expression of that transformation of it, right? So he transformed the universe into what we experience now, and everybody is a manifestation of that. This is the core revelation of the Orphic tradition. So in a few minutes, I'm going to talk about the things that are revealed to initiates, because they understand these things, and what they're talking about is what I just said, is that Zeus is everything. Everything that exists is Zeus. If you come from a Christian background, if you're familiar with Christianity, there's a part of, I believe it's in Acts, it might be in, I can't remember for sure where it's at, but Paul is addressing the Athenians, and he is talking about, he's addressing them about an unknown god, because they have a statue to every god, including an unknown god. And he wants to talk about this unknown god because he needs an in to speak in public about these things. So he uses this unknown god as a segue to start talking about Christianity, because you're not supposed to talk about new religions. No new business, in Athens, only old business. So he uses this unknown god as a way to segue into Christianity. And he refers to this poet that refers to this entity in whom we live and breathe and have our being, right? And this entity is Zeus. And this poet is, I can't remember his name, but it's one of the early Greek poets, and it's one of the few scraps of a poem that we still have left, and it's referring to this idea that Zeus became everything and is the air that we breathe. Sometimes all I need is the air that I breathe and to love, right? That whole thing that is Zeus, right? That breath of life is Zeus, and it's us, and we're manifestations of that. That's the big mystery. This eye that has the lightning coming out of it, that's us, and that is the big reveal, right? So you got to keep that big reveal in mind. All right, so knowing that we're in this thing, right? The idea of piety, so the thing about the piety is, if you pursue God, your source, then you get power, and the presence of God is with you. This is from the Corpus Hermeticum, and let's see here. What did I want to show with this? There was something I wanted to talk about. For the Corpus Hermeticum, I think I'll do this one. All right, so this is the quote from Agrippa. It's whosoever therefore shall know themselves shall know all things in themselves, right? So this is based on the basic Hermetic core beliefs, and they teach that It starts in the Divine Pymander. So the Divine Pymander was translated by I think Mirandola or something, or the Medicis. Anyway, it was translated by these Italians, and it influenced everybody, and eventually got to Agrippa, right? And Agrippa's Hermetic philosophy was based on the Corpus Hermeticum and the Divine Pymander in particular. And in the Divine Pymander, around verse 54, according to at least one numbering system, it talks about the mind, which is Pymander, the shepherd of men. Pymander means shepherd of men. It's the same word that Jesus uses in John when he talks about I'm the good shepherd. He's basically saying I am the Agatha Pymander, right? The good Pymander. Well, this is a different Pymander. This is Hermes Trismegistus is speaking to the Logos, right? And the Logos is speaking to him. And the Logos says to him, take heed what thou sayest, for I, the mind, come unto men that are holy and good, pure and merciful, and that live piously and religiously, and my presence is a help unto them. And forthwith they know all things, and lovingly they supplicate and propitiate the Father, and blessing him they give him thanks, and sing hymns unto him, being ordered and directed by filial affection and natural love, right? And you gotta remember that this is the same teaching that taught earlier that as we descended from heaven, we are in the image of God, and everything loves us because we are basically an extension of God, right? So this filial love and the filial affection and natural love it's talking about is this love of our own image, right? Because we're made in God's image, and it's because we love God that we love ourselves, okay? And this is why people who don't love God also, in my opinion, have a hard time loving themselves. But whatever, I think there's a mystery there, but everybody doesn't agree. All right, so yeah, so basically the mind, the Logos, reveals itself to people who are pious and religious. And what does that mean? It means, I mean, it's really easy to do because we live and breathe in this existence. This source is around us, right? Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, Zeus the all in all is the way I phrase it based on the Derveni manuscript. And that's what it says in there. Zeus is the head. He's the source of everything. He's the middle. He's the middle area that manifests everything. He's the gods. He's the forces of potential in everything. He's the materializers. He's the four kings of the elements. He's the spirits of human beings that make decisions. You know, he's the middle, and then he's also the material world, the all in all, the Pantocrator, right? So he's all of these things, right? And he's real easy to get in touch with because we are in it, and we are it, and we are of it, and we are part of it, and we're with it. So anytime we want to get in touch with this source, we can turn to our left or turn to our right and address the very stones of the earth and say, hey, here I am. I would like to communicate with you because I need to pursue my source, because it says in this book over here, these wise people wrote down a long time ago that if I pursue you, I will know all things. And lovingly they supplicate and propitiate the Father, and blessing him they give him thanks, right? Doesn't that sound familiar? Therefore they shall know themselves, they shall know all things in themselves. Especially they shall know God, according to whose image they were made. Right? This is the same thing they're talking about. The more you know God and the more you know yourself, the more you understand how this whole thing works, because you're a manifestation of this all thing too. Okay? So when you pursue yourself, when you pursue your source, like, where did my thoughts come from? What is my mind? You know, where is my mind? Where do I come from? Where do my thoughts come from? Why do I want this? Why do I want that? Why do I not like this? Why do I not like that? When you look inside yourself, you are looking to the source of everything. We all share a common source. That's the core belief of all this stuff. So when you pursue God, it's the same as pursuing an understanding of yourself. Not like your egotistical personality, although that's all you really have to work on a lot of times. But not to appreciate the temporal aspect of yourself, but to understand where you're coming from, why you make decisions, and what the crunchy goodness is that you get out of it. Like, why are you doing this? What's the benefit to you? When you understand that, what your benefit is for your decisions that you make. When you pursue yourself enough to understand that, you understand your relationship to the rest of everything else that you're made in the image of. You understand your role and relationship to God. When you understand how satisfying your desires, your impulses, your intuitions, your drives is the way we meet our fate, right? And I want to talk about accepting our fate here in a little bit. Anyway, this is the Pymander take on it, right? And he talks about, but to the foolish and the evil and the wicked and the envious and the covetous and the murderers and the profane, I am far off, giving place to the revenging demon. And I want to talk about this, the negative side of this too. So if you don't pursue yourself and you don't pursue an understanding of yourself, you are, according to this, you're turned over to this evil daemon who will inflame all of the things about you that make you want things without being able to be satisfied, right? Because you're focusing on the desire and the lack of them, right? Because that's what this evil daemon does, is it focuses you on what you're missing instead of on what you have, on your light, on your source. So if you think of the sun is a mass of incandescent gas, a gigantic nuclear furnace, right? It's where life comes from. The light comes here. It powers the vegetables that feed the plant. I mean, the animals. Everything comes from the sun. Life is from the sun, right? We are like suns, and we are shining our light into the world. Our light is what creates the things that we experience. Okay, that light that we're shining into the world, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, right? That's what grows what we want to have happen. Okay, today's the Sunday, and today we did a release of anything solar that stands between us and the sun. And in Pymander, it talks about the things that you release in the sun have to do with the desire for rulership and evil ambition or obscene ambition or something like that. And basically, it's when you're trying to run other people's lives, right? And you're trying to tell other people how to shine their light, because you want the light that they're shining to grow your projects and not theirs. So you covet, you envy what they're doing in their time, and you try to get it for yourself. That's an evil desire to rule, in my opinion, right? When you release that, and you just want to shine your own light on your own stuff, you're not trying to rule what other people do. You still might give people direction. You might give them guidance, and you might be a leader, right? You might rule over them. But your rulership is not to dictate their direction of their resources for you, but for the benefit of themselves, because you understand that's what benefits you too, right? Because that's how it works. We don't get ahead by taking what other people have. We get ahead by getting other people to get ahead too. That's the big secret, right? Is empower other people, and you're more empowered, right? Anyway, this pursuit of the light is a powerful technique, right? It's not just because you're being good and good is rewarded because there's some cosmic Santa Claus or some, Jesus died for your sins and now God's gonna bless you. You can name it and claim it. It's not that. You're not being rewarded because you're good. You're not being pious. Being pious isn't. It talks about being religious and being obedient and pursuing all these things. But if you understand the mysteries, that everything is one thing, it doesn't mean what you think it means. It doesn't mean following the rules of the priests. They are a social construct. That's not what we're here about. That's just a backdrop. Okay, and we'll talk about the Arenes later when we talk about the Derveni manuscript more. But in the Divine Pymander, it talks about the evil daemon that comes to distract you from these things by inflaming your false passions, and that's how they get you. They get you all excited about these false things that can't be satiated, instead of pursuing what you really do want to create. And when I talk about creation, I'm talking about what you make for yourself in your life. Whether it's a steak or a plan for what you're going to do next, or a career change, or an expansion of your current business, or getting ahead within the framework of healthcare professionals that you have to work with, for example. It's how you project your intent into the world, right? The things that we experience are what we're doing it for, right? That's the crunchy goodness of why we manifest stuff. It's so that we can experience it and transfer that back up to this source. It's our offering to the gods, is our experience of this reality. We shine that light on our life. We grow what we're here to create, and it doesn't take away from anybody else. It creates more for other people to work with too. Anyway, that's the theory. But if you look at what people who don't pursue their source, what their lives are like, they're spun out, they're anxious and scared, they're angry and upset, they don't really know why, they're victims of the media, conjure cosmic Santa Claus. Exactly. No. But the sad truth is, when you doom scroll and you get panic stricken and you post all this stuff on Facebook about how scared you are, and oh no, he got elected and it's the end of the world, right? And all this stuff, you're reacting to media headlines based on a story that they told you to believe, and you're very scared and right, because that's how they want you, so that they can sell you a solution that is going to take your money and your time and your attention, because you're bewildered, scared, and afraid. This is a known tactic of mind control. This isn't a conspiracy. This is standard marketing. Okay? They keep you on edge so that you buy. All right? I'm not saying we aren't in a dangerous world. I'm not saying ignore the negative realities of our existence. Create something positive about it. Change it. Fix it with your magic, with your choices, with your money, with your life, with your intent. Make it better. Create something, but don't spin out and freak out and buy shit. That ain't gonna fix it. Focus, pay attention. But when you pursue your source, you have the power to focus and change things. And when you don't pursue your source, you're just reacting to all these cloudy, false bullshit statements from society and the media and these people that are just there to distract you, and they can't satisfy you. They make you want to buy this stuff that won't satisfy the problem, because the problem isn't really real. You can't fix the fake problem. The fake solution won't fix the fake problem. What fixes the real problem is fixing the real problem, being the fixer. You have to be the fixer. You create the solution. Solve et coagula, motherfucker. You solve the problem, magicians. Solve the problem. All right, maybe I will moralize for a minute here. Maybe I won't. All right, anyway, point being, you can do it really easily because God is right here. I'm going to get on to the Derveni manuscript part. All right, so, yeah. These are the Arines. The Arines are the fates, right? They are the dark shadows of Greek mythology that are, they deliver the punishments of justice. They are the servants of, they're the allies of justice. And if you're in the Derveni manuscript, if you're into the worldliness of the world, the Arines are basically going to feast upon you, right? They are going to do the same thing this evil daemon does later on with the Corpus Hermeticum. They incite your passions. They make you unhappy, unsatisfiable, unsatiable, right? And they get you that way because you are distracted from your true source. As soon as you start seeking your true source, it goes away, okay? So this is what the Derveni manuscript says. It says, "Close the door, you uninitiated, for I will speak the sacred words to those who have been initiated. O blessed ones who have seen these rites, you will go down to Hades' halls with shining souls, but those who have not been initiated will suffer a fate as terrible as their ignorance. Therefore, entrust your hopes to Zeus, the Father and King of all, who accomplishes all things, and observe his signs in fire and smoke, which he sends forth as tokens of his will. But do not heed the voice of the Erinyes, who fill your ears with false and dreadful sounds. For they are misty beings born of air and earth, who darken your mind and lead you astray. But you who have been enlightened by Orpheus' song know that there is only one God in many forms, and offer him your prayers, libations, and sacrifices, not as gifts or bribes, but as symbols of nature's harmony. And he will grant you peace and joy in life and death, and you will share his wisdom and his power." Isn't that fucking beautiful, right? That's what you get. You get the wisdom and the power when you pursue this entity through your libations and your offerings of harmony, and you ignore the crap out of these dark, witchy, worldly, distracting things that are going to take you away from your power. And the thing that robs the Erinyes and the evil daemon of its power is the pursuit of God, your source, your divine source, whatever it is, whether you're doing it with Buddha or you're doing it with whatever, you know? I mean, you can sit there and meditate, right? You're trying to do this. This power, when we pursue God, I want to talk about the practical changes we see in our lives from this. Okay, it's not just something you read about. Okay, this is how your magic works. All right, this is where the power of your magic comes from. This thing about knowing yourself, it's not just fucking, I'm sorry, it's not just words. It's a formula, and the formula is how to dissolve yourself and recoagulate yourself as something more powerful to affect change in your daily life, to create something good for yourself and the people that you love. These are the things I'm always like harping on about, and I feel like I'm, you know, I've said it before, you know, but this power that we're talking about, by pursuing it, you get the power of the universal emergent property of consciousness itself, right? If you look at, like, in science, it talks about the dark energy and the dark matter stuff that we can't really figure out where it's at, because we don't have the math built into our model yet, basically, to account for it, right? But we know it's there, and we know it's emergent, and it seems to be running the show, and we don't really understand how, but there's an energy powering an expansion that isn't correlated with what we can see and measure, right? But we know it's there, and this is that emergent field, right? That is coming into being, and it's the cutting edge of existence, the bleeding edge of what we experience as time progresses in this dimension in which our consciousness interacts. Physics says that there's an emergent energy fueling everything, right? Just like it says in this Derveni manuscript, that there's this intelligence, this consciousness fueling creation according to its will and its whim through its personalities and its choices, right? And we're its personalities and its choices, right? Anyway, when you pursue God, you get this power to create things. All right? It burns away the falsehoods of the Erinyes, the dark falsehoods, the lies that they try to harp on you, that will burn it away when you sit and do mantra every day. And this when I say it's easy to do, what I'm talking about is you do mantra every day. You just do a mantra. Pick a mantra. Pick a God. It doesn't matter, okay? In the Orphic hymn to Hermes, it talks about how he will teach you in the gymnasium the mysteries, the ecstatic mysteries that you get from experiencing God. Hermes will teach you that. If you walk the dark paths with Hecate, she will take you to the gates of hell and Hades, the underworld, the subconscious mind. You know, this is something that is both mental, physical. It's not just spiritual, right? It has three dimensions to your three worlds: your mind, your body, your soul. You go through these transformations. If you pursue Hecate, you figure out that she's the world freaking soul, that she's the gateway through which consciousness itself is born to experience life. Hecate is the world soul, according to the Chaldean oracles, right? Zeus consumed this phallus. Dionysus is the child of the essential recipient of Phanes, the Orphic egg. Okay, Phanes, the Orphic egg. The Aeon. There's a whole hymn to the Aeon at the beginning of the Derveni manuscript that says that everything in the universe hangs off of the Aeon. You can read the rest of it and say everything's a manifestation of the Aeon. Right? What I'm saying is it doesn't matter what God you pursue. Pursue God in the middle and you find the source. When I say Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, Zeus the all in all, I mean every part of the middle is connected to the source. You find the source in the eyes of your brothers and sisters, right? That whole idea that namaste means I recognize God in you. You know, I mean, that's pretty fucking cool. But that's what we're trying to do, is pursue God and understand, you know, what is the oath of the Magister Templi? It's to take every experience as if it were a direct communication between God and yourself. Every experience. A crow flies over. What does that mean? Everything's about me all of a sudden, right? It's a mind trick to get you to think about how things would be if they was all about you, because your life is all about you. They're trying to trick you into waking up and realizing that you are the only person that experiences your life, and then you die. What you gonna do? That's it. Okay? Anyway, simple, easy ways to get in touch with this. All right? It's everywhere. Okay? We are a part of it. I know how cheesy this is. I love it. This is how connected we are to everything. If you spend a few minutes visualizing yourself as this, you realize that this power is flowing through you the whole time, okay? It's coursing through you, it's radiating out through you, it's emanating out through you and through your choices into the world around you. The things we experience come into our bodies as we float through this space, you know, and it comes out of our hearts, into our minds, into our words, into our choices, into our actions, into our experiences, right? This light that we shine into the world, that we're focusing through ourselves into being, right? It's connecting us all the time. And we get more of it by acknowledging it, by recognizing it and interacting with it and pursuing it as Hecate or as Zeus or as the infinite all coursing through me at any given moment, you know? This is one of my favorite images right now. The chakras, right? How ignorant, you know, how total white guy is this? You know, new age white guy is this? I don't care. It's great. Where does that light come from that shines through these 7 little portals? What light is coming through there that manifests as the root or the sacral or the solar or the heart or the throat or the third eye or the crown chakra? Where's that light coming from? That's the source. That's Zeus, you know? It shines through these 7 chakras into the rest of the world. That's the thing about this system. The chakra system is it's about, you purify and balance your chakras with sound healing and all this stuff. And what does it do? It lets you transmit the light of the universe through unimpeded by the darknesses and the twistings of your trauma and the past evils of whatever, right? If you do the great work and you're doing this, the alchemical or astrological process of transforming yourself, you're binding the demons of your natal chart that are afflicting you so that you can reflect the universe, the light of your true self through you without being impeded by these archons, right? I mean, all this stuff is about taking this source, beaming its light through this middle part, these 7 chakras, or you know, your 7 archangels, your 4 kings. You know, this is how we pursue the divine. This is the power of piety. The power of piety comes from pursuing God and finding out who we are in relationship to God by changing the world, by manifesting things, by taking our role as little images of God and doing it and creating our world. That's what Hermetics teaches, right? I'm not wrong about this stuff. I'm right about this stuff. This stuff is simple stuff. You know, you visualize your light coming through your chakras into your world for 10 minutes a day. The mantra I have, Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, Zeus the all in all, Zeus the light, Zeus the chakras, Zeus the world that comes into being as a result of it. I do that kind of thing. I visualize that. I visualize the light opening up each of the chakras so that it can transmit my will more cleanly into the world. And I have stronger results to my magic as a result. I feel like I do. I have more confidence in what I'm doing. I feel like my focus is a little more focused. People do what I expect them to do, what I want them to do. People are falling into line. This whole career change thing. Whoops. This whole career change thing is going. Anyway, the whole career change thing is going in every direction I wanted it to, right? You know, I've got stuff in the midterm that's going to pad my resume for getting what I want in the long term now. I've got opportunities for it. You know, I can see pathways up. I've been introduced to a new language that I need to learn and a means to do that and a means to get certified in it. You know, I've gotten all these things are going my way, you know, because I do this pursuit of God. It disappears all the bullshit. It evaporates like mist in the light. In the sunlight, all the problems that stand in our ways between us and what we want. It's simple. It's simple stuff, you guys. It's simple to do. I don't know. I guess all I really wanted to say with all this stuff today is visualize. Just spend some time every day. Just visualizing yourself connecting to the universe. You know, it really does make an incredible difference in your daily life. Okay, it empowers the transformation of anything that's crappy in your life. I don't know how to put it, you know, and it doesn't matter what it is. I'm sorry, it really doesn't. But you find amazing things. Okay, I don't know. I feel like this is ridiculous. But anyway, do pursue it. Test it out. Put me to the test. Pick a mantra. You know, check it out. Because this is how you get stuff to work. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thanks everybody. Have a great week, and I will see you